Hello, fellow grievers. And this episode, we're going to talk about what you actually need the first 90 days of grief. So, welcome back, everybody, or welcome. Thank you for joining. Today, we're going to talk about what you actually need the first 90 days of grief. Okay. So, the first 90 days are basically about surviving. Okay. So, last episode, I talked about, we wouldn't look at a woman who's given birth and just be like, well, just hop back and get back to normal the next day. And yes, I know that in society now, we kind of do expect that, but that is not what we're meant for. We are meant to take time and to just be. I listen to a Catholic coach, and she always talks about like how after she has a baby, for the first 3 months, she tries not to do anything. She's like, my whole job is just that baby. And I think that we forget that, right? Because with grief, you can't see it on the outside. And even with women who have given birth, right? Like you can't really see it. I think another good example is somebody who has been in a car accident and maybe has to do therapy to get their legs working again or really to be able to use their body again. So we don't look at that and be like, what are you doing? Like, get it together. It's been 6 months. Like, we're all sick of your complaining. Nobody wants to hear about it. But we talk to ourselves that way in grief. And I really think it's because nobody can see our pain. And so it's hard to describe something that nobody else can see. A lot of times there's not like an outward visible sign that shows, like, hey, you're grieving. People don't know when they pass you on the street. You go to get groceries and nobody knows. And so you just have this pain that you're carrying. And then we compare ourselves to others and we tell ourselves, well, so and so doesn't seem to be having this hard a time. Or I know their parent just passed away. They seem fine. But we really truly don't know. And so it's really about what's going on in you. And those first 90 days are just surviving, right? They're just surviving. Okay. So I don't want you to think like you have to do grief right off the bat. I don't want you to think like I dive back right in and I got to fix this. That being said, I do think there is something beneficial to talking about it as soon as possible. Okay, because again, just like if somebody was in a car accident, you wouldn't say, just sit there, don't do anything for 90 days and we'll see what happens. Like, no, you'd be like, oh my gosh, you need to go talk to somebody, go get that checked out. Like I see you're in a lot of pain. I don't think that looks right. Like, and so there's a way to do that and talk about it and start to seek healing without pressuring yourself. Okay. So that's what I want you to be clear on in your mind. And what I want to talk about in this episode is really that pressure and how, yes, we want to we want to seek healing, right? Just like we would seek out a doctor. But there's that pressure that we put upon ourselves. That's what we don't need. Okay. So we might find that we are think, well, if my faith was stronger, like this wouldn't be this hard. That's not true. You do have faith and it is hard. Okay. What you need is less effort on that front. And you need to really focus on getting sleep, getting safe in your body so that, again, like I've talked in past episodes, it might be like, hey, at the end of the night, I'm going to turn on a heating pad for my back. I'm going to have a blanket. I'm going to have my water bottle. I'm going to have my hot chocolate. Like that's safety right now for me. And then setting up a plan for yourself to really just focus on those immediate needs and give yourself permission to just kind of day by day see where you're at. Okay. Because some days we might be in a really good spot and we might say, yeah, I can go get these things done. And then the next day we just feel depleted all over again. So it's really paying attention to your needs where you're at, not only mentally and emotionally, but physically as well. Okay. Because again, just like last episode, we talked about like the physical exhaustion of grief. Like it's not something you can just power through. We're really working on replenishing ourselves right now. Okay. And I always encourage people to turn to prayer. And even just saying, Jesus, I don't know what to do right now, but I'm going to give that to you. I feel so much anxiety right now. That's all I have for the day. I'm going to give that to you. Okay. That's a prayer. It doesn't have to be flowing and beautiful. It doesn't have to be even like there's been so many times where I don't even want to recite like the regular Our Father, Hail Mary. Like I don't even want to recite those. That feels too hard. So I'll just say, Lord, you know where I'm at. You see everything that's in my mind and in my heart right now. And I give that to you. That's a prayer. Jesus, I trust in you. That's a prayer. Lord, help my unbelief. That's a prayer. Okay. So knowing that we don't have to force ourselves or try to get ourselves into submission of doing grief right. Okay. This is doing it right, taking it slow, just meeting our basic physical needs and getting rest, right? And so what I want you this week to focus on, okay? I want you to look at if you're in the early stages of grief, okay? This is a time to again, we're going to go back to basics. Okay? It's not a time to start be like, "Oh, I'm going to go train for that marathon." Right? Just like again, somebody was in a car accident, you wouldn't be like, "Yeah, but you better go train for the marathon." Let's work on ourselves right now. Now that everything's discombobulated, let's go do that goal that we've never done. Like let's go do that. No. You'd be like, wow, like let's get to rehab. Let's start with the basics. Okay? So that's what we're doing. We're getting into the basics. And I would also say if somebody that you love died 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this is usually where we start anyway. Okay? So even if we think like we've managed, we've gotten it together, this is a good place to start, is starting with the minimum. Okay. So something you can do is to make like a bare minimum list of like what needs to get done today. Okay. For me, kids need to be fed. We need sleep. We have shelter. That's breaking it down to pretty minimum. Okay. Now, a lot of times my brain wants to say, if you're a good mom, you would have a beautiful tray of healthy snacks set out for them when they get home. You'd make sure their water bottles are all filled, like just welcome them when they come in the door. Now, some days that happens, fine, not very often. But when I'm really grieving or I'm having a hard time, or especially in those first 90 days, okay, kids need food, frozen pizza works, hot dog works, okay, like just something, right? Cereal. Hey, we're having fun cereal night, okay? So notice that what needs to be done is often different than what we tell ourselves needs to be done. And then I would say to let other people show up and help. Now, in the beginning, a lot of times there are people that want to help. And we often like, well, I don't want to put a burden on you. Or I don't know, like I think that's asking too much. I don't want people to know that. So I often say like it is good to say, hey, here's a list of things that people can help with. Maybe it's I ordered groceries. Can you just go and get them in the pickup? Like it's this time. Would that work for you? Um, Asking other people be like, hey, could you mow my lawn? Or could you move snow for me? Like those are things that you can give people to do when they ask. Because people really do want to help. Just like if your friend was going through a hard time, you want to help them. But when it's us, we tend to not want to allow the help. So just remember that. that people really do want to help. Another thing I want you to try to work on this week or encourage, especially again, if you're in the very early stages, is try to eat something. Try to eat anything. Okay, because so often we're not even hungry. And maybe this looks like even setting a timer on your phone for every 2 hours. Okay, every 2 hours, I'm going to eat some cheese and nuts, or I'm going to eat some crackers, or I'm going to go to the store, or I'm going to have, here's again, a friend can go pick me up a meat and cheese tray. Okay, I'm going to eat that. I know those are things I love. They're snacky. I don't have to prepare anything. And every time that timer goes off, I'm going to try to eat 3. Maybe I'm going to try to eat 5. Okay. Just really focusing on getting some food in if your appetite is low. And then also, I think the last and kind of final thing, right, is to be present in prayer, but just know you don't have to have all the answers. And again, like we said earlier, the Jesus, I trust in you, or Lord, like this is all I have today. Or just being like, Lord, I don't feel you. Can I just feel your presence for a moment? Like that's prayer. And that is a good prayer. That is a perfect prayer. That's what God is asking of us, just to keep turning to Him instead of turning away. And we don't have to have it be the perfect words, we don't have to have it sound just perfectly. Most of the time, in our brokenness, that's where God is waiting for us the most. Right. And again, I go back to the example of little kids, where little kids, when you see them struggling and they're trying to like do it themselves, and you just really see them struggling, when they turn to you and you're like, I need help. Like you just have such compassion and love for them. And that's how I think God looks at us too. I know He does. And He just has love and compassion for us, especially when we're struggling and trying to do it ourselves. So just keep turning to Him. He's there. He wants to love you through it. So, all right, you guys, I love you. Again, go to CatholicGriefCoach.com, sign up for my Lent grief group, which will be starting Ash Wednesday. So I think it's February 18th, maybe. So go sign for that. If it's past the date, you can still jump on the first week or so. So do that. Join us. I'm so excited to have you there. All right. Have a good day. God bless.